Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome to another car chat, right? Welcome to another car chat video. I've just finished the gym. I trained upper body today, whoop whoop, and I thought I would come on here and have a little chat with you guys, have a little rant. I did speak about it a little bit on my Instagram stories yesterday, but I wanted to come on here and do a full video just because I feel like it's going to help people. It frustrates me that we are still overcomplicating weight loss, and it's just so much of like diet culture mixed in, and it just makes weight loss so much harder than it needs to be. Weight loss is hard as it is without overcomplicating it. But yeah, this was all triggered basically by a comment I got. It's not necessarily this particular comment. I have received this comment in a different ways over since I started sharing my weight loss journey on YouTube. I get this quite a lot, and I've seen it quite a lot online, and it's just quite frustrating. So I just wanted to go for it. It's not an attack on this particular person or anything like that. I won't be sharing who wrote it or anything. It is literally just the information, and I've just seen so many people say this, if that makes sense, talk about this, and I just wanted to go over it. So if you're the person who made the comment, please don't take it in like me attacking you or anything like that, because it's not. It's just information, and I just wanted to share my opinion on it. But yeah, I will go through the comment and then I'll talk about what I wrote on my story yesterday, just in case you don't follow me on Instagram. If you're not following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram, Louise's Journey 2.0 XO. I share loads of like my weight loss transformation pictures, and I just go on my stories quite a lot. I'm quite active on my stories, so if you ever wonder what I'm doing or whatever, you go on my Instagram, go have a watch of my stories. I'll probably be chatting rubbish on there as well. I know some people don't like it when I talk too much. I've had a few comments on my YouTube channel saying I talk too much. I don't know what you guys want me to do. Do you want me to just sit here and stare at the camera? If you would like someone who doesn't talk on a video, I'm sure there's some people out there. There's some, you know what I mean? This is not the right channel for you. I talk a lot of rubbish, right? If you like someone that chats a lot of rubbish, just chat, chat, chat. I'm a chatty patty, okay? I am a chatty patty. If you don't like it, then my channel is not for you. But if you do, then make sure you're subscribed and click the bell button. And if you haven't seen any of my videos before, and this is the first video you're seeing, yes, I'm a chatty patty, but my name is also Louise, and I share my weight loss journey. I used to be 269 pounds. I was morbidly obese, and I lost 120 pounds. And then after maintaining for about a year, I did my first ever bikini competition. I competed in the transformation category and the bikini category, and I came first place in the transformation category, whoop whoop. And then since show, which was in April of this year, I gained weight to get back to a healthy body fat. Now I'm just maintaining, building muscle. And yeah, so that's where I'm at now. I share loads of my weight loss tips. I share my what I eat in a day videos. Yeah, I just share my journey and what I learn. You know, I don't know everything. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a personal trainer. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm nothing like that. I just share what I learn as I go. And just keep that in mind when you're watching my videos, that I'm not professional. Do you know what I mean? I don't know everything. I'm still learning. We're all learning together. I'm just sharing what I'm learning. Do you know what I mean? If you enjoy them kind of videos, just make sure that you click the subscribe button and the bell button so you get a notification when I upload. And if you find any of my videos helpful, including this one, then I would really appreciate it if you leave a like and a comment. It really helps out the video, and I really, really appreciate it. So yeah. So this comment was saying you can lose, yes, you can lose weight with just a calorie deficit, especially if you got fat by binging on massive amounts of food. However, the body responds to different types of calories in very different ways, and while you might be able to get away with it while you are still young, very few people can stay healthy if they consume foods that cause blood sugar spikes and crashes and trigger insulin. This is the whole thing, is insulin, right? But we'll carry on reading the comment. That is the body's mechanism. So that is in capital letters. That. So insulin is the body's mechanism for fat storage. Insulin and cortisol are the two fat storage hormones. Cortisol is triggered by stress in the body, and it will also cause an insulin response. So that is two ways you can cause a spike in insulin. To be healthy, you have to keep both insulin and cortisol low, as well as keeping the blood sugar within a safe range. High blood pressure can be deadly if it gets too high. Diabetes is excessively high blood sugar. The safe range amounts to a total of about half a teaspoon in your entire blood supply. The body doesn't need to get even a single solitary molecule of that tiny amount of sugar from the diet. There is no such thing as an essential carb. Even though dietary fat has 9 calories per gram and carbs only have 4, fat doesn't spike blood sugar or trigger insulin. Therefore, fat is not fattening. Carbs do spike the blood sugar. Therefore, most carbs are, in capital letters, fattening. Fat has the most calories and is least fattening. Carbs are the most fattening, and protein is right in the middle. Okay. I will just read what I wrote in response on my story, because I shared the comment on my story. Obviously, I crossed out the picture, the name and everything. I'm so fed up of seeing these kind of arguments about insulin. Insulin spikes are normal. It's what your body is supposed to do. Unless you have a medical condition like diabetes, you shouldn't be scared of insulin. This whole insulin stores fat argument is weak, because calories in, calories out still applies. It doesn't matter whether you are young or old. Seco, guys, Seco. Calorie deficits don't only work if you got overweight by binging. It applies all the time for every single case, no matter whether you're old or young, right? If you have excess body fat, it's because you consistently eat more than you burn, regardless of whether you are overeating sugar or whole foods. It doesn't matter. If you want to lose weight, eat less calories or burn more calories through movement. And yes, the body uses nutrients from calories in different ways. Of course, it's better for your body to eat nutrient-dense foods, and some macros like protein have higher thermic effects of food. However, guess what? SECO still applies. Take someone eating whole foods, no junk, but consistently eating in a surplus, and someone eating all junk foods, but consistently eating in a deficit. Who do you think is going to lose weight? I didn't write this, but obviously the person eating junk food, but in a deficit, okay? However, if you could clone yourself and eat a healthy whole foods diet, and the other you only eat junk food, but both consume the exact amount of calories, even though the calories are the same, you would have two different body compositions, because one is clearly going to fuel your body better. But how long can you stick with your diet if you cut out every single junk food or foods that contain sugar? Oh, wait. It's not about having a perfect diet. It's about having balance and sticking with something you enjoy and can do for the rest of your life. Stop making it more complicated than it needs to be. Also, all carbs are not fattening. And then I did the eye roll, because carbs are not fattening. Too much of them are. The same as too much fat is, or too much protein is fattening. Stop being a carbophobe. Carbs are a great source of energy. So yeah, that was my little rant of Monday morning rant over, right? Insulin is your body's natural response to when you have sugar. Unless you actually have a medical condition like diabetes, you shouldn't worry about carbs. And also, even when someone pointed this out to me as well, who actually has diabetes, that you need carbs, you can't just cut out all carbs when you're like diabetic, because you need carbs so that you don't go into hypo, whatever it's called. Like, you know, you've got hypo, like I said, I'm not a doctor, but you know, when you go hypo and you don't have enough sugar in your bloodstream, you still need to maintain a certain level of blood sugar. Like, you can't just cut out all carbs. Like, that's why I'm pretty sure when someone goes hypo, they have like a chocolate bar or something to get their blood sugar up. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. No matter what, even if your insulin is really spiked high or whatever like that, if you are in a calorie deficit, there's no extra energy for your body to store as fat. So it doesn't really matter. Like, it's still a calorie deficit. It's still calories in, calories out. It doesn't matter whether you're old or whether you're young, or whether you got overweight by binge eating loads of food in one sitting, or consistently overeating your calories even by a small amount over a long period of time. It doesn't matter. Calorie deficits will always work. If you are not losing weight, it's because you're not eating in a calorie deficit. But regardless of whether it's your hormones that are slowing down your metabolism, your age, or anything like that, if you're not losing weight, you're not in a calorie deficit. The only way to lose weight is to be in a calorie deficit. It's just frustrating that people just like to overcomplicate it so much more than what it needs to be. Weight loss, like I said, is hard enough. Changing your lifestyle habits that you've built over a long period of time, that you've built in, breaking down like emotional eating, everything that goes into the fact that why you're overweight in the first place, trying to work through that and stay consistent and building those lifestyle changes and habits over time. That's hard enough as it is, without adding in all of this extra stuff by saying you can't have carbs, you can't have sugar, or like worrying so much about eating processed foods or sweeteners. Like, I get so many people commenting on my what I eat in a day videos saying that my diet is unhealthy because I eat some processed foods, or because I eat sweeteners, or just having like a normal balanced food. I personally feel like I eat my fruits and vegetables. I'm not scared of any macros. I eat all my macros. I will include chocolate if I want chocolate, or if I want to take away, I can eat anything in moderation without guilt. And for me, that is like healthy. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like it's healthy to be worried about or feel guilty about eating a certain food, or put a moralistic value on food. Like, if I eat food, say if I eat a pizza, that doesn't make me a bad person, or that doesn't make me being bad. Or if I eat a salad, that doesn't mean I'm being good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't have any moral value on food, and I just don't think it's a healthy mindset to have. I just don't think it's a good idea to start your weight loss journey out by saying that you can't have certain foods because it's going to trigger insulin spikes, and insulin spikes is the reason to cause fat storage, and just trying to overcomplicate it like that. Because if you're on a calorie deficit, it doesn't matter whether your insulin is high, because there's not going to be the extra calories to store as fat. So if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, regardless of whether your insulin is high or not. Obviously, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that you can just eat loads of sugar and don't bother, like, worry about the quality of your food. Like I said, if you can get 2 people, one eating only junk food and the other eating healthy whole foods with no junk food at all, obviously, one body composition. Your body is going to use them nutrients to fuel your body properly, fuel your workouts properly, and you're going to have a completely different body composition. You're going to be healthier than the person eating only junk food, of course. Like, so that's where I say balance comes in, because how long can you actually stay on your diet, stick on your diet without, like, having no sugar, no carbs? People just like to overcomplicate weight loss so much and make it so much harder than what it is. So when people start their weight loss, they think, oh, I have to cut out every single sugar, I have to cut out all my carbs, I can't swap for sweeteners because no, that's really bad for me, that's bad for my gut health, that's going to give me cancer. I can't have, like, I don't know, processed foods or anything in a packet. And that's already setting yourself up for failure, because you're not going to be able to stick to that diet for a very long time. You will be able to stick to it while you're motivated. But like I say in nearly every video, motivation is fleeting. You're not going to be motivated all the time. And if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you're not going to be able to stick to it. To lose weight and keep it off, you need to find something that's sustainable for you and enjoyable. You need to be able to still enjoy your life. So if that means that instead of having sugar, you can swap it for sweetener, and that will save you calories and help you get into a calorie deficit, then do that. It's a lot more healthier to lose weight, beat obesity, than it is to keep yo-yo dieting, going on diets, being really strict, losing a bit of weight, and then not being able to do it anymore, and binging on the food that you've restricted for such a long time, gaining loads of weight back, then going back on a diet, losing weight, and then binging again. And that's how people end up gaining more weight than they've lost and ending up bigger in a few years later than what they did when they started. And it's just frustrating, because this is the cycle, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? I can just see it. Like, this is what causes people to have, like, EDs when they try starting to lose weight and stuff, because it's just, they feel like they can't have foods, or they put a moral value on food, like, that's bad, that's good. No, there's nutrient dense foods that are better for your body, that will fuel your body. But then you've got, and yeah, there's foods that are not as nutritionally dense, but they are nice and they help you feel good. And do you know what I mean? Like, they taste good and they're, like, fun foods. Do you know what I mean? And you can still include them in your diet, just in moderation. And that's the key, is, like, moderation. I'm not telling anyone to only eat, like, sugar or only eat carbs or simple carbs. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying only eat that, but I'm saying it is okay to have a chocolate bar. Even if you wanted a chocolate bar every single day, you can still lose weight by having one chocolate bar every single day. As long as you're focusing on eating balanced, healthy meals throughout the rest of the day, you're going to be healthy. Or, well, that one chocolate bar isn't going to kill you. Adding sweetener instead of sugar to help you get into a calorie deficit to lose weight is not going to, like, make you unhealthy. Can you do this for the rest of your life? And be realistic, because people that just, like, have to cut out all sugar, cut out all carbs, cut out any food group, how long can you actually do that for? You restrict yourself from it, especially if you like the food. If you don't really like carbs and you like to do keto, and you can stick to that and do that for the rest of your life, and that works for you, that's fine. That is completely fine. It's about finding what works for you, what you enjoy, and what you can do for the rest of your life. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. And that's the thing with weight loss, is you need to be consistent at it. And you can't be consistent at something that you don't enjoy, that it makes you feel miserable. And then what happens a lot of the time is, when people cut out certain food groups, is that they eventually give in, lose that motivation, and have that food. And because they've restricted themselves from that food, they end up binging on it, and then feeling guilty after, then restricting it again, and then binging on it again. And then it's a cycle, and then they end up developing EDs. And then they're the ones that will turn around and say that health at every size, diets make you bigger and all that kind of stuff. Do you see what I'm getting at? This is why it's frustrating for me, because I feel like we can lose weight and keep it off and be healthy, but all of this extra stuff to overcomplicate it is just so unnecessary, and it just makes the problem worse. Carbs are not fattening. It's too much carbs are fattening. A chocolate bar is not fattening. It's too much chocolate bars is fattening. Do you know what I mean? Like, fat is not fattening. Too much fat is fattening. It's easier to overeat on fat than it is to overeat on protein, because fat is 9 calories per gram, so it's a higher calorie dense food. That's why when foods are reduced in calories, they tend to be reduced in fat, just so that it makes it a lower calorie food. Do you know what I mean? Lower calorie, high volume foods. But yeah, if you want to lose weight, don't worry about all of these minor little things. Just focus on having balanced meals, have protein and fiber with your carbs, eat lots of fruits, eat lots of veggies, focus on high volume, low calorie dense foods just to keep you full. Find an exercise that you enjoy and find a way of eating that you enjoy. Make those lower calorie food swaps. Do one small thing at a time, and don't just overwhelm yourself by trying to be perfect, because like there's no such thing as perfect. It's about being consistent and just sticking at what you're doing. Maybe after you've lost the weight, or whilst you're losing weight over a time, then you can worry about those little things, but don't like try to fly before you can walk, or run before you can walk. Do you know what the saying is? I don't know. Count your calories. I find that one of the best ways to lose weight, because then you actually know what you're eating and you can work with that. If you count your calories and you're not losing weight, you know you can reduce some calories and start losing weight. Or if you count your calories and then you start losing too much weight, you know you have a baseline basically to work with when you count your calories, and you learn so much about food and portion sizes and the macros in your food and all that kind of stuff. So I highly recommend counting your calories. You don't have to count your calories, especially the bigger you are. Like I always say, the bigger you are, the more weight you have to lose, the easier it is to actually make smaller changes and lose weight. The more you will lose by just making simple swaps. So obviously, just find what works for you. Don't overcomplicate it. Weight loss, like I said, is hard enough as it is. We don't need to be overcomplicating it. I just want everyone who wants to lose weight and keep it off, and not develop EDs or orthorexia, which is where you literally feel like you can't eat certain foods and foods are bad and you're scared of certain. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to be healthy, and that's not just physically healthy, that's mentally, holistically, socially. Do you know what I mean? It's a holistic health, right? You need to be able to go out with your friends for a meal without worrying about eating something processed, or without worried about does something have sugar in it, or is there carbs, or is it cooked in this or that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, let's just have balance. Right? Balance is okay. We're allowed to have little things here and there of like unhealthy, bad foods, or whatever you want to call it. Nothing is bad. I know. Before I go, I wanted to say this as well. Like, I hate hearing when people say this is clean and this is dirty. Unless you dropped it on the floor, it ain't dirty. And unless it's been washed in a washing machine, it ain't clean, right? It's just a weird thing for me, right? And everyone has a different opinion on what is clean and what is dirty. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it all depends on who you ask. So, yeah. But yeah, I hope that my little rant was entertaining or something for you. I enjoyed chatting with you guys and just getting it off my chest. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. And yeah, this is to health. Comment down below a little love heart, because health is wealth. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.